is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
All right, everybody, it is Hump Day Wednesday right here on the Players Lounge. Brought to you by Hotels.com. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime Cowboys reporter, joined by Barry Church and Danny McCray, two former Dallas Cowboys safeties. All right, fellas, it's Cleveland week. And in the past, you're thinking, hey, just write down a W because it's Cleveland. And Cleveland on the road. They had been good on the road. But I don't think we can say that anymore because some of the strengths of Cleveland's football team, offensively and defensively, kind of go against, in my opinion, the weaknesses of what we're seeing right now with the Cowboys and what they've got going on. So I'm going to get right into the running game, fellas. Cleveland's got two guys, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. They're coming at you. They rebuilt their offensive line. They used first-round pick on a left tackle. They brought in right tackle Jack Conklin from Tennessee. Tennessee ran the ball with Derrick Henry. You saw how they did. And right now, Cleveland's number 3 in the league when it comes to running the football. They're averaging 170 yards a game. So, McCray, how do the Cowboys stop this Cleveland running game?
They try their hardest to two gap and fill the holes and be a little bit more physical than Cleveland, but it's really not on the defense like we've been saying for a few weeks now. It's really on the offense to control the clock and try to keep the defense off the field as much as possible. I don't think they will be able to really stop the Cleveland run game. I think we can slow it down as long as we shorten the game, but this would be something that the linebackers and the safeties and the D-line, make sure you pack your lunch, because no matter what, it's going to be one of those long physical days, and we have to be 100% ready to tackle, hit, take on blocks, and deal with Chubb and Kareem Hunt all day, or they'll run us out of the stadium.
Yeah, like we talked about yesterday, man, this is arguably one of the best 1-2 combos we have in the league, Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So, like you said, this D-line and these linebackers, they're going to have to bring their lunch pail because this running attack, it's no fair dodging, man. It's straight downhill in between the tackles, and they get after you. So, for me, it's going to be hard to completely stop them, like you said, McCray, but the best bet for us to slow us down, in my opinion, is going to come down to those big interior guys. I mean, the Dontari Poe, Woods, Tristan Hill, those guys, they're going to have to step it up. I mean, we've seen in the past Marinelli's system that like those quick, faster guys, but with Nolan bringing these bigger guys in, they're going to have to do their job. And I'm not talking about just going out there and wrecking house in the run game, but they're going to have to be gap controllers. They're going to have to eat up players out there. They're going to have to use their girth out there to eat up those offensive linemen, to keep them off of those linebackers. So those linebackers can do what they do best, and that's, run sideline to sideline and try to stop this running game. So for me, it comes down to those interior guys, those big boys. They have to keep those linemen off of Jalen Smith and Joe Thomas and let them run sideline to sideline, because if not, it can get extremely ugly out there. Both of those guys are capable of running downhill and running through a defense. And we don't want to see our secondary out there tackling Chubb and tackling Hunt, because all they're going to do is get ran over or stiff armed. So for me, it comes down to those guys in the interior. They got to be gap eaters. They got to control that run. If not, it could be a long and ugly day for this Cowboys defense.
And Newy, you were being nice when you said, these days a strength of the Browns is a weakness of ours because they run the ball. You can say that about any team that's coming in here right now, because you can pass or you can run on us. So every week is going to be a long week for our defense. All right. So I appreciate you being nice, and just trying to single that one thing out. But it's a long year for us right now.
My boy is taking off the gloves early. I like it though. I like it.
It's the truth. It's the truth. I'm just calling how I see it.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and that's when you start your game install here. And I just decided to, we spoke about it yesterday. I want to bring back the numbers again in case anybody missed the Players Lounge on Tuesday. Cleveland against Baltimore, a game which they got blasted. They ran the ball 37 times, had 158 yards. Against Cincinnati, a game they won, 35 rushes, 215 yards. And against Washington, another game that they won, 27 carries, 138 yards. So you know what it is they're going to do. On an install day against a team that likes to run the football, gentlemen, give me your experiences in the past on how you come up with a game plan and start working towards that Sunday game.
Go ahead, D-Mac, you got it.
Listen, I don't want to take this one just because, Church is the one who was taking those first team reps. I can tell you what I was doing on scout team, getting ready for special teams and giving the offense a look. Those few games that I played safety and was in Chicago, we dealt with the run, but Church can probably fill you in a little bit better than I can.
All right, I'll take it. So for me on a Wednesday, like I said before in the past, man, I hated Wednesdays because those are usually your full padded practices, and that's when you're going to thump a little bit. And especially against a running team like this coming in, you're going to do a lot of front seven drills. And with that, it's just the offensive line versus the defensive line and then the running backs, linebackers, and you add that box safety in there. So for us, it'll probably be, Darian Thompson or something like that. But for a heavy run offense like this, you're going to get every type of counter look, power look, draw. You're going to get every type of run scheme that is available for you during that segment of time. So you'll get to see how they pull their bocklers. You'll like to see how they like to take their fullback and kick out the defensive end. So each play they run, the safeties and the linebackers, they know which gaps they're going to have to fill. So hopefully that becomes like muscle memory during the game. So if they see that pulling guard or if they see that action, that counter action, they'll be able to react super fast and be able to stop that run. Now, it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier said than done, but Wednesdays are great with run preparation, and hopefully they're able to take those keys into the game because they're going to need them. And like I said before, they're going to need them, and this D-line is going to have to step it up.
Look, I'll tell you this. When I was in Chicago, when I left Dallas, went to Chicago, and you guys came up there, and the running game was something crazy, right? So Wednesday we were getting ready to play, and Mel Tucker was the defensive coordinator. He was like, look, we just going to sit here and we just going to watch every run that the Cowboys have. And it was literally about 20 different type of runs, right? So for our defense, what they're going to have to do is realize that power is power, counter is counter. They're going to find different ways to get in different formations, but they're going to be running these same plays. The linebackers will be facing pulling guards. There will be traps. There will be counter steps. So these guys will have to be on their P's and Q's, which as I say, that makes me a little nervous just because our eyes and our discipline has been way off for the last couple of weeks. So hopefully we're able to see those things and read those keys and so we can make those plays.
And that's why we need this defensive line to get this, because if they can get this run game going, we've seen how bad our eyes are, especially in the secondary. If they get that run game going and that play action starts to come alive, I mean, it's going to be like pick your poison, and we're going to be in trouble. So it's a must that we do something with this run because, like I said, that's the generation for everything. That's the generator for everything going for offenses these days.
It's Kevin Stefanski in 3 games. They've got a 2-1 record. And for Cleveland, that's the first time they have been above 500 since 2014. And having worked in Cleveland, I know that people are feeling good about the Browns. And your hope, if you're the Cowboys, is that there's been so much positives going out there about the Browns that maybe their confidence level's a little bit high because man, it's still Washington they beat. It's still Cincinnati. Those were teams that the Browns were supposed to beat on their schedule. So I'm really trying to figure out how good is this football team? Because they couldn't do anything against Baltimore, which is a real good football team. Other two teams they beat. They needed, they had to go, Cincinnati battled right to the end. And by the way, Cincinnati's a team that's also on the Cowboys schedule. Those guys have battled everybody in all 3 losses. All 3 of those losses have come down to the fourth quarter here. So I'm trying to figure out what is Cleveland, but I do know what they want to do, which is run that football. And with our first-year head coach, Kevin Stefanski, he at least has these guys with an identity. 3 games into this, Barry Church, what identity is the Cowboys' offense in your opinion?
3 games in, man, it's a lost identity. I mean, I can't really pinpoint what it is. I mean, I would love it to be, ground and pound, set up the pass with Dak Prescott through the ground and pound, but I mean, we just haven't seen too much consistency with that. I mean, the first game, we gave Zeke a couple touches. Atlanta game, we gave him a lot of touches, and we were able to battle back. And in his third game, the first 6, plays were pass plays. So for me, I'm undecided. I'm not sure where our identity is as an offense because, like I said, I would love it to be ground and pound. I just need us to not get to the point where we were last year, to where it was all relying upon Dak Prescott's arm, and he had a lot of yards, but it was a lot of garbage time yards. So for me, the jury's still out on this one. I would love it to be ground and pound, but like I said, man, the jury is still out on this identity for our Dallas Cowboys offense.
Yeah, our identity is, unfortunately, right now is flavor of the week. Like, we go into it looking at what the team we're playing did the previous week, what they gave up, and then we try to cater it to that instead of just going in there knowing what we're good at, what we're great at, and then basing our offense off that. So we went into Seattle's game and they gave up a lot of passing yards. So we said, hey, we're gonna go out here and try to pass versus trying to do what we're good at and maximizing the potential of our star players. So whatever Cleveland gave up or whatever Kellen looks and sees that Cleveland had trouble defending, that's what we're going to run. And unfortunately, that gives us no identity for the entire season because it's just new flavor each week.
One of the things that I kind of went back and looked at the last 2 games was Ezekiel Elliott. And you guys know my belief that 21 needs to be getting the football. And I thought if they were going to beat Seattle, 21 needed to have a lot of touches. When it came to running the football, first half against Seattle, 9 carries for 14 yards for Ezekiel Elliott. He finished with 14 carries for 34 yards, so just 5 runs in the second half. Now, the people out there who the analytics guys or the people out there who don't want to hear about running will say, well, you know what, they couldn't run because they were behind. Well, they were also behind against Atlanta, and I went and looked at that game too. First half, Zeke, 12 rushes, 44 yards. Second half, 10 runs. So they decided that they were not going to give up on the run. They ended up with 22 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown, something they did not do against Seattle. So if I'm in the offensive meetings here, I'm telling Kellen Moore, and I'm saying, hey, look, you cannot give up on the run. Ezekiel Elliott should not get 5 second-half runs in a football game. That's just crazy. That's basically 2 1/4. I mean, let's just say two per quarter in the third and fourth quarter. I'm sorry, you've paid too much money for that guy to have just 5 second-half rushes in a football game. And I don't care about they were behind. We saw against Atlanta that you can mix Ezekiel Elliott's running into a comeback. And the more passes that Dak Prescott has, 57 attempts against Seattle. That's a losing recipe, gentlemen. You cannot drop back that many times and think you're going to win in the National Football League.
Yeah, you can't at all. And then for me, I think he had about 12 targets in the passing game. Like, I like when they put him in the passing game a little bit, but when you're giving them 12 targets in the passing, that's just a little bit too much, man. I mean, we've got guys on the outside that are here to do that. I mean, I like sprinkling some screens in there, but you got to get a man that touches in the running game, man. He can prove to pound down Seattle or prove to pound down defenses. And just throwing the ball to him for 12 I mean, that's just out of pocket and out of character for this offense.
Listen, let me show you how much they're not giving Zeke the ball and giving him the respect and the carries that he needs to get. Everybody was all hype about Dak being the first player to throw for so many yards and have 3 rushing touchdowns. The truth is, those rushing touchdowns should have been to Zeke. We came out on first and 1 on the 1 and tried to throw the ball, and we got stuffed. And then instead of giving it to Zeke on the 1 yard line, and then Dak has to go in for quarterback sneaks. These should be going to our star running back. Like when you go into the game and you're first and 1, second and 1, third and 1, fourth and 1, there should be a set recipe. Give the ball to Zeke and let him score. And we're not even doing that on the 1 yard line. So you can obviously see that we aren't focusing on him, in the running game throughout the first 3 games.
Can I get an amen on that? Because I was playing a guy in my fantasy league who had Dak Prescott. And I'm like, where's Zeke? I'm sitting there at the stadium. I'm like, what are we doing? Can 21 get the ball? I mean,
it makes no sense.
What if 4 hits the shoulder out here? I mean, at some point in time, I know you want to run, but at some point in time, you can't have this guy out here running too much. But yeah, it was hard to watch, man. It was hard to watch. Barry, I want to address what you said about the passing game and the 12 targets. I didn't have an issue with 12 targets. He caught 6 passes because you were trying to get him in the screen game. And one thing that Ezekiel Elliott talked about afterwards was Seattle's great linebackers and KJ Wright and Bobby White, they just couldn't get past him. They couldn't fool them. I mean, that was what it was. I mean, you tried it, and it was good. You were trying to get your guy touches, and that's something I said. It's like, hey, man, I know those guys are good, but your guy is good too. See what happens. Well, you know what? Seattle was better at it, ready for it, and they were able to get out there and get it going. And when you've got that patchwork offensive line too, the screen, having been a lineman, and granted it was high school. Okay, I'm not trying to.
Okay, Newy, I see you.
But I will tell you, when it comes to that screen game and having guys that know, who have familiarity of how they got to get out there and get these blocks, because when you're trying to get out against guys like Wagner and KJ Wright, really good linebackers, it takes some experience to know what you're doing. And so you had another mismatch offensive line all throughout the game. They just couldn't get that going. So I won't criticize Kellen Moore for doing something I said I thought they should try. I just got to tip my hat over to Seattle's linebackers. I mean, Bobby Wagner, when his career is done, I think that Bobby Wagner's name will be in a conversation that they hold to say, should he be in Canton in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? I think Bobby's been that good when you look at his resume. And obviously KJ Wright is another guy who's been very good in Seattle for a long time. So they just couldn't get the screen game going.
Look,
go ahead, D-Mac, go ahead.
Obviously, I just hate that it sounds like I'm bashing Kellen Moore because I really want the guy to do good, but we talk about Zeke in the passing game, and I just don't see the same thing. I see flat routes, and I see screens. And, over the summer, we heard him, working on his routes and being creative and all this stuff. I haven't seen anything creative in the passing game with Zeke outside of him, being the check down and running screens. So I'm just seeing something different.
Yeah, and look, just to touch on Newy's point about the screens, like I'm all about, sprinkling in some, screens here and there. But if it's not working, take some of those 12 touches that you wanted or 12 targets in the passing game and put them towards the running back and give them touches in the backfield. Let them run the ball. I mean, I'm not advocating on just banging your head against the wall just so you can get him touches in the screen game. Like we obviously seen it's not working. I mean, KJ Wright, like you said, KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner, they were shutting that down. So take some of those screen reps and give them touches in the backfield. That's all I've got to say.
Okay, boy, we're rolling already. Got to hit a break here. We've got more stuff we want to unpack here. Jerry Jones has an affinity for a player that he thought about drafting in the second round. Let's also talk about second-round draft pick Trayvon Diggs, who's got another tough matchup this week. And we got to give our picks for the NBA Finals, which start tonight between the Lakers and the Heat. This is the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
We're back with a tasty treat that's sweeping airwaves and taste buds. It's new Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda's here. A new combo that's music to my ears, okay. Let's play. Cream Soda and Dr. Pepper time. Pour it in a glass of ice.
Music to my ears and mouth. New Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda.
A delicious duet.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Back to the Players Lounge.
New Era 1960 headwear collections celebrating styles and designs worn by players and coaches over the last 60 years. The Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop introduces the New Era 1960 headwear collection. Find the full assortment at your nearest Cowboys Pro Shop and online at DallasCowboys.com. So go ahead, check it out there. We got to get some of those hats. I love those 1960 hats. I like that old school, the one that's got the D on there that Tom Landry used to wear, and then the ones with the Cowboy Joe. I like those old school Cowboy logos.
Yeah, I got to get me one of those, man.
Size 8.
You know I'm a hat connoisseur.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. That's what us ball guys, we like those. We like those lids.
Gotta stick together. Oh yeah.
To protect ourselves a little bit here. All right.
No doubt.
Players Lounge brought to you by Hotels.com. We are in our SWBC Mortgage Home Virtual Studios. Trayvon Diggs is a guy that we all spoke about as a possible first-round pick for the Cowboys. They get lucky and get him in the second round. This young man has been starting since week 2. Week 2, it was hello Julio Jones, hello Calvin Ridley. Week 3, it's hi DK Metcalf, hello Tyler Lockett. And now, here it is, hi OBJ and Jarvis Landry. Danny, Barry, you guys are safeties. What's your sympathy level here for Diggs to get welcomed into the National Football League like this, McCray?
Listen, it's tough. It's tough for him. It's tough for him, and even worse because he's having a rough go at it. But listen, the guy is fighting, man. He's fighting. He's putting stuff on tape to show that he's going to go out there. He's going to forget the last play, and he's going to try to get you at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to go until he can't anymore. The play he made on Metcalf was huge, even though he gave up the long pass. So one thing you can say about him, he's going to fight, but he's in for another fight this week. And, it's welcome to the league, man. That's just how it is, especially when you're a rookie. Those offensive coordinators are going to look out there and say, hey, look who we got over here, and we're going to go at him until he defends a pass. So he's going to see this for the next, 13 games.
Yeah, for me, this is tough, man. This is like death row for a corner. I mean, if you're a veteran corner coming into a situation like this, you're looking at the schedule like, man, these guys are trying to bench me or something. I mean, I got to go against DK Metcalf, Lockett, Julio Jones. I mean, now OBJ. I mean, this is ridiculous. But like you said, D-Mac, I got to give the man credit. He's fighting his butt off on each and every opportunity he gets, and he's only going to get better by going against the competition of these wide receivers. But like I said earlier, this is like death row right now. And then you got OBJ coming in here, who's one of the most polished receivers in the game. So he's going to have his struggles during this season. But I think over time it'll just make him a better player.
Yeah, it's been tough for Diggs, man. It's been tough, but thankfully he had an excellent college head coach, and Alabama trained him for this atmosphere that he's in right now, where he's showing you that fight. So we'll see what he can do against LSU receivers.
He got work last year. He got work last year against LSU receivers. All right, so let's not take that too far. And the worst thing for him this week is Cleveland is good at the run, so we will be committing 8 people to the box, so he'll be out there one-on-one very often. So that challenge, I hope he's up to that challenge.
Hey, play off, my friend. Play off. That's all I got to say.
Well, can he get some safety help here? I mean, that's the thing, right? Can Diggs get some ssafety help?
We saw last week. We saw what happened last week when you depend on some safety help. I mean,
the safeties better be in the box. That's what they better be in.
I mean, Diggs could use a little bit of help. All right, so I was listening to Jerry Jones on his radio show this week, and he started talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire the outstanding running back who played at an SEC school last year. And Jerry was saying that had Clyde been in the second round, maybe he's somebody that they would have thought about. Danny, I heard that, and I shook my head when I heard it of why in the world would that even be on your mind, considering you gave Zeke all that money, making him the highest paid running back in the game last year. Then you used to pick on Tony Pollard. They don't need another running back. As good as Clyde is, they don't need a running back. You need a safety if you're sitting around here thinking about that. But luckily, they got Diggs in the second round.
Listen, Jerry's just talking, man. You know, Dez in the shower, Earl Thomas maybe. Now it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire when you already got running back. He's just talking. He's giving those players respect. He likes them, you know, and in a perfect world, he would be able to have all the great players on his team. So I understand what he's saying. He should never shoot it down because one day he might have an opportunity to get Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You know, he just wants to show him some love and let him know, hey, one day you might have a spot over here on the Cowboys roster. So I feel him. You know, I wouldn't say anything else like I didn't like the guy. So
right.
I don't read too much into it.
Yeah, I don't read too much into it either. Man, I love your way of thinking, man. You and Jerry Jones got the same type of forward thinking. Like, I'm not gonna say anything too bad because he might be a free agent in the future, and I might be able to use this. So I like the way you're thinking, man. But overall, I'm not gonna put too much into this. You know, this is just Jerry. You know, being Jerry, you know, and getting a little clickbait action there. So if I'm Trayvon Diggs, I'm not, you know, taking it as a shot or anything like that. I'm starting corner for the Cowboys right now, and I'm gonna just prove that he made the right decision in getting me in the second round. But overall, I think this is just Jerry being Jerry, and hey, hedging his bets. You never know what's gonna happen in the future.
I remember when Jerry passed on Johnny Manziel. Steven and Will had basically talked him out of it, and they took Zach Martin. And at training camp, he was still on that Johnny Manziel train. He was still talking about Johnny Manziel. And I felt so bad for Zach Martin. I really felt bad for him. Is that here it is, they use a first round pick on you, they signed you to a contract, and hit training camp, and here's the owner still, you know, moaning and groaning about a guy who, had they drafted, would have been sitting on the bench behind Tony Romo anyway. And then here's Zach Martin, who comes in and has an incredible rookie season. He's built himself a Hall of Fame resume. I was one of those, I really did feel bad. I mean, I felt bad for Zach, and he's, you know, bless him, man. He's such a good guy. He's never told us that he took it personal. But I was just like, wow, at what point in time do you stop talking about somebody not here and loving the guy you got?
Yeah, I mean, he made Jerry, you know, basically say, hey, you were right in picking me. I mean, we've seen Zach Martin's on a Hall of Fame arc, and you know, Manziel's over there, you know, playing blackjack at some casino. So I'm thinking, you know, he made the right decision with Zach Martin, and I think Trayvon Diggs, you know, he might be able to do the same thing. Say, hey, you know what, you made the right decision in the second round, but he's just gonna have to go out there and prove it.
Listen, it's a huge difference between him making a mistake and if he would have picked Johnny Manziel versus picking Clyde Edwards-Helaire. they are, you know, two different types of players, and I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire will have a much better career. And you're right, Johnny Manziel down there with the disguise on. That's how I remember Johnny Manziel, with a disguise on, sneaking to Vegas, out here stinking up the joint on the field.
Now, in fairness to the audio and what Jerry said, I was listening to it. He didn't say, hey, it wasn't a situation where he wished he'd have had Clyde versus Diggs. He just spoken about how much he'd like the player. And, hey, I was kind of hoping maybe he's sitting around there in round two, and obviously he went in round one. But I think even if he was there at two after you committed to CeeDee Lamb, they needed to go ahead and take defense. And clearly, where would they be without Diggs right now? They'd be even worse because Diggs right now is proven. In my opinion, I think Diggs is a guy that's going to be here for. I think Diggs can get a second contract. That's really how I start to look at guys now. Are they good enough to get a second contract? Because
whoa.
What? What you mean?
What's the break? What we prepping the breaks for? What's going on?
Whoa, hold on, wait.
What?
So, hold on, Newy. Come on, I like the dude. He's a fight. He's a fighter. But from what you've seen so far, you already are leaning into contract number 2.
I think what Newy said, saying something. Are you saying he has the intangibles to get the contract number 2? Is that what you're saying?
You know what, gentlemen? I will give you my answer after we take this short break right here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com.
The cliffhanger. Okay.
I will come and defend myself and ride with Trayvon Diggs. Roll Tide Roll right here on DallasCowboys.com.
Oh, man.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys and your favorite football team.
Get yours today at shop.dallascowboys.com or at stetson.com.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not to...
Right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus.
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store to find out how to get one of our popular smartphones for $0 down, based on GWS 1 score September 2019.
To Dallas's frontline responders, thank you. To show its gratitude, Tide is offering free laundry services in Dallas to the families of frontline responders. Simply bring your laundry and your identification to Tide Cleaners, and they will wash it within 2 days. One thing less for you to worry about. While you take care of us all, Tide will take care of the laundry for the families of frontline responders. To learn more and find a location near you, visit hope.tidecleaners.com.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Tour AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Run on the field, see the locker rooms, and so much more. AT&T Stadium tours presented by SeatGeek are available daily. Visit AT&TStadium.com for details. You're in the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime Cowboys reporter, joined by two former Dallas Cowboys safeties, Danny McCray and Barry Church. Okay, so I was listening to Danny through my Bose headphones, and Danny is not with me right now when I say that I believe Trayvon Diggs is going to be a guy I look at and who'll get a second contract with this team. Looking at the problems of the team right now, Byron Jones was gone. All right, one of the things that they didn't do early enough, in my opinion, was secure Byron to a contract. So by the time you waited till the end, guy ends up getting the highest cornerback contract ever. I thought Byron Jones he had a nice career with the Dallas Cowboys for 5 seasons. And when I look at Byron Jones and I look at Trayvon Diggs, I see players that are very similar. And I believe that Trayvon Diggs, if he continues to improve and get some help up front, this D-line's got to get up front. I think Diggs is going to be a guy that they like, the right kind of player, the kind of makeup. You got Cheeto Awuzie, who's going to be gone, Jordan Lewis, who's going to be gone because they're free agents. And I don't know if they're going to sign these two dudes. You got Anthony Brown, who I think he signed a 3-year deal. So by the time you get to Diggs being up here, because it's a 4-year contract that he signed as a second-round pick, they're going to have to give him a new deal because they ain't going to have anybody else to pay. They're going to have to pay this dude.
No,
I mean, if there's one thing they haven't done lately is re-sign these cornerbacks. They got cornerback problems here. So if this guy is just halfway decent, he gonna get a contract. Anthony Brown got another contract.
No, let me tell you what you sound like, man. Listen, when I go to Vegas and I go to the crap table, I go out there, my first couple rolls would be 12, 1, and 3, right? And I'm just getting warmed up. And then I roll a 7. And I'm like, you know what, today gonna be a good day. And I stay at that table for the rest of the night and I leave broke. So you over here, this dude has rolled 7. He's rolled a 12, a 3, and a 2 to start the season. and you're hoping for a 7 to come, and you talk about he gonna be here for the rest of his career. This don't make no sense. Come on, Newy. From what? From what? Second contract is his career. So he gonna finish his first contract and then get paid here based off what you have seen. Like we coming fresh off Seattle, Newy. Rewind the tape. Second contract. You're asking for trouble. He has to improve a whole lot.
Look, I mean, I'm with Danny on this one. I mean, it's a little early, 3 games in. It's a little early to say he might be able to get that second contract, especially after what we've seen, last week. He had a little rookie struggles. But what I will say is this: I do like what he brings to the table as far as his intangibles and his effort and his ability to go after the ball in the air. And I think that's something that we've been missing as a Cowboys secondary for a long time. So I like his intangibles, but I'm not willing to say that we need to get him on a second contract ASAP. But there's optimism there. I like it, Newy. We'll see what happens.
Church, he crapped out twice. He crapped out twice already. And
he went back to the ATM, man. He went back to the ATM and got a refill, man.
And I seen him have a chance to make an interception, and he did not catch it. All right, talking about playing the ball.
That's true.
All I'm saying is, and we talking about second contracts after 3 weeks in the NFL, to where the first 3 were not great. We have like one of the worst secondaries in the league, and we talk about giving one of our rookies a second contract. This is hilarious.
Hey, look.
I'm just gonna be proven. I'm gonna be proven right on this. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be proven right. This is gonna
take a long time for
a couple
this.
years.
I will say this.
Right on this.
I will say this, man. I wheeled in on a scooter with a torn Achilles to sign my second contract. So if I was that hurt and got a second deal, he might be able to get one. So you never know what happens.
They got you for cheap, Church. They got you for cheap, Church.
That is true.
You look back at it, you're not happy. You're not happy when you look back at it.
But I was happy about that third deal, though. I'll take that one.
Yeah, that one with the Cowboys.
The second one, but they ain't gonna pay safeties. They ain't gonna pay safeties. Oh man.
Okay, all right, look, fine. I'm not gonna sit up here and I'm not gonna sit up here and get beat up by you dudes no more on this. That's enough.
Write that down, bro. Because right now you messed up on Coop yesterday, and we got you. Now you on Diggs, and we got you. I mean, you having a rough week.
That's fine. I'm not having a rough week. I have my core beliefs. So let me believe what I'm a believe. Believe Diggs is gonna be all
beliefs,
right.
Huh?
Roll damn Tide's gonna be just fine. I got faith.
Oh man.
I got faith. All right.
Okay. All right.
Here we go.
Speaking of faith, as we want to make sure we dive into this before we end the show. Danny, you got something you got to hit us up on?
Yeah, absolutely. For everybody that's out there listening, if you consider yourself a real fan of the Cowboys, make sure you go to NFL.com/fan of the year, and you can figure out how you can nominate yourself for Fan of the Year for 2020, and you'll be recognized in a special way by the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys. So make sure you go to NFL.com/fan of the year to figure out how you can get nominated for that.
All right, we've got NBA Finals tonight. So, gentlemen, let me record these picks down here. Who you got between the Lakers and the Miami Heat? Church, I'm gonna start with you.
Look, overall, this series it's about to be a blowout, man. I mean, I got the Lakers in 5. I mean, it's just too much talent. AD, LeBron, they're too big. I mean, they can throw 3 7-footers at Bam, who's the Heat's arguably the Heat's big man, who is Bam. They can throw 3 7-footers at him. So I just don't see anybody stopping Bron, AD, and them boys. The Heat, the best chance the Heat got to win is tonight. They might get a surprise game. But overall, I got the Lakers in 5. Tonight, score, I'll give it 110-103 Lakers.
I'm going same way, gentleman sweep. They've been handing out gentleman sweeps for the entire playoffs, so I see the same thing happening. And the only way that I see the Lakers losing this series is an injury to LeBron and AD. If one of them are able to play, I think they win this series pretty easily. So I'm going. Actually, this would be the game that I would pick LA to lose, because they usually come out slow, the first game. But other than that, I don't think they have any trouble with Miami.
So, Lakers in 5 for Church, Lakers in 5 for Danny. I had Lakers in 6 last night until I heard Stephen A. Smith say Lakers in 6. Then I knew it was a problem because you look at Stephen A. Smith's record in the finals, he is awful. I don't know whether it was
terrible
on YouTube, but somebody did one of those loops of Stephen A. Smith yelling, the Miami Heat are gonna crush the Mavericks. And then he was like, there's no way the Pistons can beat these Lakers. I mean, they were just hammering Stephen A. Smith on all his wrong NBA finals. And it was like, I don't know, he might have been on an 8-year run at one point in time. He was just butchering the NBA finals. I mean, it was really bad. And so I heard Stephen A. Smith, when I said Lakers in 6 last night to a friend, I heard Stephen A. Smith this morning, and I said, no, got to change it. Got to change it now. Heat in 6. Heat in 6. That's what I'm changing it to right now. Heat in 6.
Whoa, wait a second. Did I hear the Heat?
That's right.
Tyler Hero, Andre Iguodala, Jimmy Buckets. You got them getting in 6?
Eric Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler,
man.
Figure it out. They call it Rick Carlisle. They call it Rick Carlisle and the Mavs. How do you get this done? One more time. Yeah. Pat Riley.
Newy.
We're going to Heat.
Newy, can you see my screen? If we were able to actually bet on sporting events, this would definitely be a bet that I would take from you. Just want you to know that. All right. Just want you to know that.
The Heat. You think that the Heat could take the Lakers out and?
And 6.
You got to be messing with us, man. This is comical, man. You got to be messing with us, man.
It's some more of that it's some more of that bad Kool-Aid over there drinking.
It's bitter. It's super bitter, man.
Okay, I was just gonna say I was also the guy that said Mavericks in 6, 2011, and I was proven right. So I'm telling you, Stephen A. Smith called that. Stephen A. Smith is bad juju when it comes to these predictions, man. He's bad juju in these NBA Finals predictions. So I went the other way. Heat in 6. Pat Riley. Pat Riley's revenge.
B Church, check this out.
Yo.
Check this out. It's Wednesday, all right. Newy has already said something about Coop, having an impact on the game and getting all these targets and then we found out he don't have no yards. Now he's talking about Diggs is going to be one of the top corners for the Cowboys and get a second contract. Who's the last cornerback that got a second contract for the Cowboys? Because I remember they paid B.
Orlando
50.
Scandrick.
He came in.
He was
Anthony
Brown. Anthony Brown.
I'm sorry.
Last year.
No, I'm sorry. Newy, not that contract. I'm sorry. I'm talking about a real contract. I'm talking about a real one.
I didn't talk about a quote unquote real contract. You never specified.
Shots
I said
fired
a second
today,
contract,
man.
right? So if I said second contract. Wait.
Can we go back to what McCray just said?
How are you now trying to sit up here? I mean, you talk about moving the goalposts. Now it's got to be a real contract.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
McCray, hold on. Hold on, McCray, did you just say that Anthony Brown doesn't have a real contract?
No, listen. Hello, church. Let me fix that. No disrespect to him. No disrespect to him.
You disrespected him. You did disrespect him.
Hey, shots fired today, man.
Let me clarify though. All right, listen, because my first contract was a 3-year. My first contract was a 3-year undrafted free agent deal. All right, so when I went to Chicago, technically I was on my second contract. Y'all over here, Newy over here talking about no matter, he signed for 1 year after his deal, after his rookie deal. That counts as a second contract. Get out of here.
Hey, so we talking about was the last like B car? So we talking about like a B car type deal? Is that what we saying?
Yeah, come on, bro. Yes, bro. A real cornerback deal, bro.
No.
Hey, man. The disrespect is real out here.
This is moving the goalposts, and good. Hey, church, see if you get Anthony Brown on the show so we can talk to him about.
Hey, he just called in on line 1, man. He just.
Real contract. He's not cashing a real checks this year, is he?
I'm glad this came up because if he does sign a contract like Anthony Brown, then I know that's what you meant. We meant top cornerback deals. So I worded that wrong by saying real contract. I know, my bad, AB man. You got your money, bro. My bad. I worded that wrong. That was an accident.
This is the problem of dealing with Danny McCray. I talked about a guy getting a second contract. now because of the words I said, now Danny's trying to take my words and try and say what I needed to say is a real contract or this guy. No, you
listen,
can't sit around here and take my words. No.
Well, clarify. We'll clarify right here then. So any deal that he signs after this one is what you're saying.
Second contract. A second contract. A second contract, man.
Hey, man.
Contract.
Church, come on. Church, come on, bro. Is that a legit thing, bro? So any contract that he signed, is that what you thought Newy was talking about when we were talking about him signing another contract?
Hey, I plead the fifth, man.
You trying to put words? Hey, I said what I said.
The disrespect is out here like the debate last night, man.
That was an accident. Listen, because unlike the debate last night, I'm going to look in the camera and say, AB, I was wrong. I did not mean to say that. What I meant was top cornerback money, like Patrick Peterson, Gilmore, Tre'Davious White, that type of getting paid. That's what I meant.
Wait. Okay,
we got you, D-Mac.
Let's make sure we get this straight. You just said Patrick Peterson, first round pick. Stephon Gilmore, first round pick. Tre'Davious White, first round pick. Trey Diggs, second round pick. I mean, Danny, you be a terrible.
Wait, hold on.
I'm glad you're not a lawyer, Dan. You are terrible at trying to.
We literally are talking about
parameters.
We literally are talking about getting Brandon Carr on the show. How much did he get paid? And what round did he get drafted in? That is not relevant.
What's Carr got to do with me saying? What's Carr got to do with me saying that Diggs is going to get a second contract? That's all.
Because you acting like only first round picks.
Make sure you get that real money, Diggs.
He acting like only.
And make sure you get it straight, Danny. Brandon Carr didn't get another he didn't get a second contract for Kansas City. He didn't get another contract.
No, this is what I'm saying. You saying that you sound like you saying that only first round picks can get paid like that. That's not true.
What I'm saying
you can be a fifth round pick and get paid like a top corner.
There's an expectation that first round picks are going to get second contracts. Yes.
No, because Mo didn't get a second contract.
Mo didn't get one.
I said there's an expectation. That's your hope.
Oh man, look at him. Come on,
take these dudes, man.
Come on, man.
You was out of time today.
You was hoping to get Diggs in the first round, so I don't want to hear that.
Out of time today. I want to sit up here and listen to you sound like President Trump trying to sit up here and take my facts and make them.
Oh no! Hey, don't do that. Don't
shots
do that.
Fired, man.
See you tomorrow, Danny. I'll see you tomorrow.
That comparison,
come up with some more fake news, Danny. Come up with some more fake news.
That comparison gonna have
legitimate.
Hey,
okay,
we gotta go, man. We got
that comparison.
Chris Beam held up, man.
We gotta go, man. Hold on, wait, Newy.
Chris Beam, take us to black.
Take that back. Take my name and Trump name out of the
Players Lounge.
Take my name and Trump name out of the same.
Thank you for watching DallasCowboys.com radio.
I'm gonna get you.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?